What up, everybody? Welcome to Late Night Live number 412, I believe is what number we're up to. It's crazy to me still, but how's it going, everybody? What up, Skeet? I see Rahul was here. I don't know if he's still here, but hello, Rahul, if you're still here. What's going on, Ojaswini? Hello, Cyril. What up, what up? Yep, you didn't miss the beginning. I missed the beginning, if anything. What's going on, Marilyn? Well, I was here just sorting some things out, getting my ducks in a row. If you guys saw you see the title. I realized the title of today's stream is Replicating Letters, which is maybe deceiving because everything we write are letters. I specifically mean correspondence letters. Today we are replicating correspondence letters, such as these. Now these letters I have just printed out black on white, but I'm liking white ink lately, so we're gonna do this with white ink today, unless as we're going I decide I don't like it and I want to dip into black ink. But gonna see how white ink goes, cause I'm feeling white ink. Ooh, Udi Tukman he's one of my favorites, if that's how you say his name. He's one of my favorites YouTube guys ever. I saw his most recent spirograph into pantograph thing. His videos, I find him incredibly inspiring. Chaotic, which is awesome, but inspiring. It's like he built a lathe out of an old sewing table, and everything in his studio is just cool. Alright, gonna get warmed up a little bit. Long form writing letters is always a challenge. Which means lowercase letters are gonna be important today. And for those of you who know me well, know that I sometimes, bad habit, I tend to let my lowercase just be what they be. But that's not gonna fly today. Because what makes a correspondence letter look good or not, I mean, the capitals and flourishes help, but it's all about those lowercase. We live and die by our lowercase letters. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this as my exercise for the day is to get my lowercase letters refined. I gotta work on them a little bit. Get back into my, not today, but into my business penmanship practice as well. One of these days. There we go. Nice and relaxed. Relaxed with speed. That's the key. Ooh. Look at you go, Marilyn. That's snazzy. That's a fancy pen. Yup, the lowercase letters are super important. They're just not nearly as fun, so I admittedly have dedicated way less time to them over the years. It's always crazy to me when they add that shade super quick and super short in the descender stroke. It looks so good. I'm doing myself no favors today either with using white ink. There's no hiding because my hairline can't get so fine that it disappears. When I'm doing lowercase letters with white ink, it's kind of what I would call a worst case scenario for any imperfections I make. You're gonna see them exactly as I make them. What's going on, David? Hello, Wink and Bliss. Good evening. Alright, can't have a writing session without doing a capital B first. Wait! We need to start the top. I forgot. It's on this side. It's still in frame? I think it is. Is that still in frame? Yeah. There it goes. God. How dare I? Covered by my elbow, but it's still there. Or by my, right there, by my shoulder. We could have a cam, a top cam. Oh, risky today. I need my arm to relax. That spinning top was... I never thought I was ever actually gonna receive it. That was a Kickstarter campaign that I supported years ago. And it was years in the making. What's going on, Annie? And a lot of people thought it was just a scam, that it was never gonna happen, we were never gonna see them. And then randomly one day it showed up. Like years. And to my memory, no communication saying like, your item's been shipped. It just showed up one day. I was definitely not expecting to ever see it after so much time had gone by. Which is the gamble with any Kickstarter campaign, but I really like supporting Kickstarter campaigns. Yeah, I'm super glad it finally showed up. I've done a bunch of Kickstarters. I think my very first one ever was it was like a Nerf gun that attached to your cell phone, and it was like a laser tag. It wasn't the hardware was cool once it got finished, but the software never really received much love. I think the concept was great, but it unfortunately fell a little flat. Unfortunately. Drills are great, Annie. They're important. Today I'm doing a bit of a warm-up here on this sheet, and then I am writing some or replicating some correspondence. In a few issues of the Business Educator, they did a series of letters that they called Famous Letters by Famous Penmen. I don't have all of those, but I've gone through those and I picked a couple of my favorites and plus some other favorite letters that aren't a part of that or that weren't a part of that sort of publication series. And I'm just going to sort of pick and choose, go through and replicate some. Oof, that's no good, Marilyn. I don't think... There was only one Kickstarter that I supported that I never got my item. They said they shipped it, and I had moved, and who knows, maybe they did ship it, and the mail was not properly forwarded to me. It was a successful product, I just never received it. It was, you know, phones have the pop sockets. It's like pop socket's biggest competitor now. What were they called? Something grip, or I don't remember. But it was their very first one was a Kickstarter. And I never received mine. Yes. Okay, you got it, Lene. Lene asked for it, everybody. We're doing an ad so Lene can stir her food. Ad's going in now. Lene asked for it. There, an ad should be playing. Wait, did an ad play? I might have just inserted 2 ads. It didn't give me a countdown. No ads? I clicked the button. I clicked the insert ad button. I even set a timer on my phone today to remind myself to do ads periodically throughout the stream, but I forgot to start the timer. But if it doesn't work, then what's the point? It didn't work. What the heck? Insert ad. I clicked it again. Maybe that no ads. Oh, that was an ad? Alright. But just on one device. You watch on multiple devices at the same time? Curious. Alright. Feel like my warm-up should be coming to an end. Maybe I'm just procrastinating doing a letter because it makes me nervous. I don't ever say anything fascinating. I don't know what you're talking about, Lene. Okay, letters. First one has really, really big lowercase letters. Like, really big. I mean, I don't know if it was written this size. I should preface, none of these ones that I've printed out are, like, true to exact size. I didn't measure the original specimen, so tonight is not a true to scale specific replication, like some studies are. That is not the case today. Today, this is just a letter from Lyman P. Spencer. This is from volume 31 of the Business Educator. This was near the start of their famous letters by famous penmen series. It's from, or to Ames from Lyman P. Spencer, the youngest son of Platt Roger Spencer. And it's, yeah, not very flourishy, minus that opening fancy flourish, and just quite large capitals. Or sorry, quite large lowercase letters. Now, because we're doing black, I was gonna go with unlined paper and just wing it, but I do have some lined black paper. I'll see if I like it. That's another thing that makes this replication not sort of exactly correct, because I'm not worrying about the line spacing of the letter. We're not replicating them to that much of a degree. I've done that in the past, but that is not today. Today we're just gonna write it however it comes out. We're gonna try to make it look like the original, but without getting too much into each letter is gonna be a slightly different line spacing and whatnot. I'm not bothered by that today. Is this on the Creatrium? This is on my web. This is on my. Is this on my website? This is on archive.org. Yeah, this is on archive.org, not on my website. It's just a page from the Business Educator. I can't tell you exactly what page. I should have written it in here, I guess, maybe. But it is from volume 31, I can tell you that much. I could put it on the Discord, just in the OP chat after this stream, if I remember, or if somebody reminds me. So, oof. Starting off with a nice tallest letter in the entire letter, capital N. It's going to be an interesting. What do you mean, David? Specifically, that you can't see them, or that they will not work for this letter? Oh, he did his W. We're gonna have each one of these is gonna be a couple different attempts, basically. He does his W. I've never ended a W in a compound curve like that. These lines also... Oh, links, not lines. Got you. I don't understand why it won't let people post links. You're supposed to be able to post links. Or it's supposed to at least show me the posts that are getting, like, hidden. I've changed these settings so many times. I don't understand. Try posting them again, David. Curious. Yeah, they do cause... It's not skipping, I guess. It's where my hairlines go over the lines. They do the hair that gets cut. We'll see how we feel about it. I can always do it, just wing it without lines at all if this becomes annoying. But we'll see how this feels. I love this Y. He ends his V with a compound curve too. Crazy. Darn it. See, and now it's supposed to show me moderation activity as well, and it doesn't show me any of that. Why? I want to know why. I want to know why. Give me 1 second, everybody. I want to get to the bottom of this. It's supposed to tell me Can I do it from my phone? Yeah, it's any links, basically. This has happened for a while. It won't let anybody post any links at all during my streams. And I don't know why. And of course, I can't get to... I want to open the back end here, but I'm hoping this doesn't slow the stream down. I apologize if it does. Fingers crossed it doesn't. And I can get into the bottom of this because it's important to me that things work. Oh, things are getting choppy. Sorry, just a sec. Try to make this quick. Oh, I know where the settings are, Marilyn. This is something I've changed multiple times. This is not the first time, but I want to see. It could be an OBS thing. Oh. Okay, David, try again. Did I fix it? Damn. Infuriating. Experimenting. Sorry, riveting penmanship content this week. Yeah, block links is unchecked. I don't get it. It shouldn't be blocking any links. Except for ones that use specifically bad words. I don't understand. Maybe give it a few minutes and try again. Keep trying periodically, we'll see. It's frustrating though. Definitely should be allowed. According to the settings that I have set. Now this letter is one of those where the lowercase letters and everything are so big, it almost feels like this wasn't done with pure movement writing. But I think that might be just a product of the times. Or maybe this, I mean, for all I know, this one was actually engraved after Lyman wrote it. I'm not sure. This is in the Business Educator, so I don't know what the original looks like. Very upright. Yeah, it's frustrating though. The links should not be a problem. And even if they are a problem, like once upon a time, if somebody put something bad, like if somebody typed in a bad word, it would tell me the bad word, and then I allowed it or not. It was my choice, and that functionality has gone away for some reason. Not sure why. I don't have any of those options anymore. It's been like this for a long time on my channel though. I don't get it. A little droopy on that one, but that's all right. Well, he cuts off his shade really quickly on the eye. Oh, I don't have a lot of space. I'm not gonna have space to finish this line. Trying to write small and condensed so it can fit, but it's not gonna work. We're gonna have to leave it at procure, because I can't fit one. That's alright. We'll pretend. I got a little too spacey with my friend Ains. I wish to procure one of the day T-square gauged rulers. The day T-square gauged rulers. Is that a brand? Day? Must be. Okay, I think Skylar has one of those. I think I've seen his before. I've never used one. I'm only familiar with the section liner. That's cool. A day T-square. Gauged. Is it gauged ruler? Is that what was it? Is Day the brand though, David? Do you know? Whoops, force of habit to put that little bead on there. He has no beads. Oh, this is fascinating. So anybody who's ever tried for the Iampith certificate for Spencerian, this is the weirdest transition out of a queue, in my personal opinion. But it's the traditional Spencerian queue, and it's so bizarre. But look, when we come out of the queue here, we have S. We come down, we finish just like we finished the F over there, but it finishes in an overcurve and then a stop down into the U. Just the weirdest, most, in my opinion, like not graceful. It's strange because a U is always started with an undercurve, not an overcurve. Yeah, it's bizarre. To my knowledge, at least I haven't seen any other letter come into the U that way. Even letters that do end in an overturn, they will be a compound curve or something like that. It's bizarre. But I remember when I did my Spencerian certificate, I did research into figuring out, like, is this actually right? Why did they do it this way? Or when did it sort of stop being that as the standard? But that is the traditional Spencerian way of doing the Q into the U, as weird as it feels for me. Well, and that's why that could actually be the reason why we started making the Q touch the baseline, so that it can go into an undercurve. It's just, you wouldn't compound curve into a U. that transition has so much space and it looks ugly in my opinion. Whoa! What up, new subscriber? Helen. Dizzy Bunny. We haven't seen the Dizzy Bunny in a long time during a stream. It's that stop and then down. It's so bizarre. No, if I was creating ideas and flourishes and things, never would I do what I do a U that way. If I didn't know that that's how it was in traditional Spencerian, I would to this day correct every student. If somebody showed me that, I would say that's wrong. You do a U has to have an undercurve. You have to do a different variation of the Q or something. But Q always has U after it, so there's no getting away from that connection in traditional Spencerian, and it's weird. Not a fan, personally. Ah, that makes sense, David. Day could be the inventor, because I did know that it was... The T-square ones was an Ames letter... Not an Ames lettering guide, but an Ames T-square or an Ames... That's what Skylar's is, I'm pretty sure. It was sold by Ames. Oh, my letters are getting quite small. I gotta remember that they're tall and condensed in this one. Sounds good. So I'm curious. I mean, it makes sense why Lyman is writing Ames to acquire one. One of the Day T-square gauge rulers. Day. The Day spacing or shading T... Day... So yeah, Day must be the Day, the inventor. Oh, it's possible. You can only use... It's only meant for the day. If you want to do calligraphy at night, you have to get a night T-square gauge ruler. Do you have one of those, David? Are you looking at online or are you looking at yours personally? With blade of medium length and in perfect working order. I like that he's ordering one in perfect working order. Like you would order a new product that's not in perfect working order. Ah, that's right, because it does shading. Day T or nightshade. I want a nightshade ruler. Oh, okay. Got you. I've looked for one. For those of you who don't know, I have a bit of a section liner collection. In that there are many different variations and versions of section liners, and I want to have building like a miniature museum of variations on section liners. So I did not know about the day. I knew the Ames T-square, essentially walking T-square, but I didn't know about the day portion of it. I need to do my research. Oh, he starts his B with a compound curve, which is unusual. Oof. Rough lowercase letters today, and not nearly enough. See, this letter requires a little bit more interlinear spacing than we have today. But that's okay. We're gonna keep going anyways. I feel like I'm slowing down and essentially drawing lowercase letters, which I'm not a fan of. Now the way he has it, all of this was made a little bit smaller so that his L fit between these two G's. I did not do that properly, so it's not gonna fit there. Unfortunately. Whoa. Once again, don't have room to finish the whole line. But this is practice. And in perfect working order. Try to pick up the fluidity just a little bit. No entry stroke on his W. The B is floating. It's above the baseline. And then the the bottom of the T and the bottom of the W got written on the line a little bit too close, so they're invisible on the baseline. Whoopsies. I did not chime in anywhere online on the ray gun controversy. I mean, I don't know a lot of the if there's new news. I saw that she posted a video being unhappy about the hate and whatnot online. My take, be it correct or be it not, I don't know. My personal take, she's not allowed to be unhappy about the hate. The internet has a way of taking things way too far. So if people are like harassing and whatnot, then that's obviously a problem. But if your skills are at that kind of a level and you go into a event that is held to that kind of a level, you don't have to be a professional breakdancer to know that that's not okay. It's not the culture for it. She got 100% what she asked for, basically doing that there. And actually a friend of mine chimed in. I saw a video earlier today or yesterday about it. Like when she was having fun, if she was just like, cause she said she knew she wasn't gonna win. And if she was just out there having fun, then that's sort of fine. But she did things that breakers do when they're like calling out their opponents, and there's things that happen in a battle, and the things she was doing were basically her body language to a breaker is saying like, I'm hot, I can't be beat, like you're terrible, you're whack, blah blah blah. Basically I'm really unhappy with it, especially since it's breaking's first time in the Olympics. And now this is what the world is focused on, not the incredible talent that was there. It's really disappointing to me that this is the takeaway from something that a lot of people already didn't think should have been in the Olympics, got added to the Olympics, and then it got essentially made fun of. It's really disappointing. So like I say, no hate. You can do and go into battle and do whatever you want. So no hate on Raygun. There's no hate at all. I hate what she did, but it's not hate on her. I don't hate her. I just think, in my opinion, she's not allowed to complain about what is happening in the news and whatnot because you asked for it. Basically, you can't come to a breaking competition and do that. Breaking is all about being better and making the other people look worse and whatnot. And it's, yeah, I don't know. You just can't. I think it's, in my opinion, unacceptable. Especially she teaches at a university, right? She should know the culture and history of breaking. That's not something, that's not okay. It's just not okay. Not the place for it, in my opinion. But I would like to stay out of the politics of it for the most part. I'm not a breaker, so. Also, for anybody in here who does not familiar with breaking, breakers hate the term breakdancing. They're not a fan of it. It should have never really even been called breakdancing in the Olympics. That's an unfortunate happening. I don't also know the story around how that came about, but it's like tap dancers don't like being called tappers. It's not a thing that they enjoy. It's a thing that they don't like it. It's breakers, b-boys, not breakdancers. What would be the penmanship equivalent? I mean, there really isn't one because you don't battle in penmanship. There's not, like, breaking is built on battle culture and stuff like that. It's built on that competition, that one-to-one. It's a culture more so than it is like a dance. But like, as far as if it was like a disrespect kind of a thing, if I knew a lot about penmanship and I studied a lot of penmanship and I knew the history of penmanship, and then somebody asked me to teach at, say, like Iampith or something, and then I went in and did like block capitals with a wax crayon, just like wrote like with my fist like this and just like wrote capitals and taught that like it was like it belonged at a place like Iampith, sort of like that. It's just you gotta know. Or do you mean the equivalent of a term that people don't like? I might have read your question, and I apologize if I did. Whoops. Oh, my lowercase are not disciplined. Oh, the term. Calligraphist? Maybe? I mean, I'll be 100% honest. When it comes to terms, like, I'm a tap dancer. I have a lot of tap dancer friends who hate the term tapper. I think it's silly to be angry about what something's called. I don't care if somebody calls me a tapper. I'll say it this way, I understand that a lot of people don't like it, so I don't use it, but I have yet to be given a legit reason why they don't like it, other than they've been essentially taught not to like it. And I've asked lots of people, loads of tap dancers, explain to me why you don't like the term tapper. And I've heard multiple different reasons, and none of them to me are a valid reason to hate it. And I would assume it's very similar in the breaking world. I just feel like it's silly to get caught up on things. So if you call me a calligraphist, sweet. If you call me a penman, sweet. If you call me a penographer, cool. It's just words. None of it is meant derogatory. If you call me something like that is like known as like a derogatory thing, penman fused with something that means you're crappy or whatnot, then there's legit reason to take offense there, and I would potentially maybe have an issue with it, but I think it's silly, to be perfectly honest. But like the breakers, they don't like it, so I try not to use the term breakdancing. But if it happens, I don't see the point in being disliking it. What is the first term I ever heard for parkour was free running. Like way back in the pre-YouTube and when the internet was young. The first video I ever saw was called a free runner. Or it might have not even been a video. It might have been, it was a video on a forum somewhere on the internet. At least I think it was a forum. Might have even been IRC maybe? I don't know. But it was a long, long time ago. But is free runner before parkour, or... I think it's just silly to be purist about the semantics, I guess is what it is, sort of. What something's called? Who cares? Let it be what it is. Unless the term is actually derogatory. Then I get taking the offense. Sorry, there's my little stop chatting about. Feel like there is a fiber or something in my nib. Talking and letting white ink dry on the end of my nib, I guess, probably. I'm like that with history. Go down those rabbit holes and that information doesn't stay in my brain. If only we were all like Gray and we remembered everything we learned. Ooh, Rocky. Welcome back, Lene. I just don't see the point in getting worked up about what something is called. Even if it is what, like, the person who created it called it, so what? I don't understand why ownership is that important of things like that. Oh, it's very weird to not, because I'm, as you guys know, I do such a very much a running hand. It's very strange to not jet after each lowercase letter. It feels wrong. It feels like I want to, or I'll say it feels wrong to do it with movement. It isn't wrong to do with movement. It just feels I'm not flowy at this shape or size at all. Like, this is one of those scripts where I would do it like this, but then I don't want to write it like that because they didn't write it like that. No entry stroke in the T either. It is supposed to be Jovel. But this gets to that whole, it's like it was a thing on TikTok or Instagram and stuff for a long time too. Everybody was making fun of the way like English speakers say croissant, saying it's supposed to be croissant. Why do you say croissant and not croissant? Like, yeah, go to French, they don't say je voudrais un hamburger. They say hamburger. They say it we say it English. Croissant is English. Hamburger is English. They don't say hamburger. They say hamburger. So it's silly. It's croissant. It's just, why does it matter? English people say things English way. French people say things French way. Japanese people say things Japanese way. I don't get it. It's such a waste of energy. I feel like I need one of these to get close to the edge. I'm way closer to the edge than I should be. I'm writing this too big for this sheet of paper. Well, the guy took Spencerian and made it his own. One thing you should know, Linnae, probably the best book ever written on Spencerian script would be the New Spencerian Compendium. Lyman P. Spencer, who wrote this letter, he was the one of the penmen who prepared that book. It's basically his book. It was the Spencer brothers who did it. So it was, this is Platt Rogers' son, basically, who, yeah, took Spencerian, made it his own, but their Spencerian is this, his Spencerian, this is the Spencerian that is Spencerian. Platt Rogers Spencer's version of Spencerian, nobody writes that version of Spencerian. Nobody. Like Theory of Spencerian Penmanship, all those books, that's not Platt Rogers' style of penmanship. Platt Rogers' writing was way different. So this technically, I mean, this isn't pure, I mean, it's, none of them wrote specifically one way, but Lyman P. Spencer and the Spencer brothers, the way they write Spencerian is how we know Spencerian, basically. It's the step between Platt Rogers Spencer, Lyman's, then, and like ornamental penmanship, sort of. Which is, I mean, exactly why this Q weird transition is in there. It's in all the books because that's the way that the people who wrote the books did it. I would love if modern practitioners got good at Platt Rogers Spencer or like old school styles of Spencerian or penmanship. Cause like, if you took Platt Rogers like style and just cleaned it up, I mean, it's super unique and super beautiful. That old school style, super long, I think would be really, really pretty. And a very worthy challenge for a penman. Ah, shoot. And the fact that this letter has the traditional C, which is very bizarre. But yeah, it's a very upright style of writing. One that I'm not. There you go. I've written it lots of times, but I'm not very comfortable with it with movement, clearly. Yours truly, L.P. Spencer. Yeah, the C, the traditional C is very much, can be mistaken for an L. Or, sorry, for an E. Is a dangerous form to use. What happened to that song? I feel like this has happened on stream before. There's one song in this playlist that cuts off rather abruptly. And then in like 30 seconds, a new song will play. Oh, hooked that too much. Another thing that shows its traditional Spencerian-esqueness is this going low to high instead of being almost like horizontal straight across, where it's a curve down and then up. This is going up, across, and up, more so than, like, it does dip down a little bit, but it's going up as it crawls. Now, we're not going to spend a lot of time thinking about Lyman's signature. We're just going to go for it and hope for the best. Oh, he kept that going. Whoops. Oh, that is some ugly capitals right there. Don't judge me, folks. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Well, there we go. There's our... Maybe if I zoom out a lot, it's, it won't look as bad. Correspondence. All in all, like at the end of the day, like I said, if I look at any one of these little pieces or one letter or one word, it's not that great. Undisciplined arm today. But at the end of the day, not terrible. Could be worse. Could be worse. We could try this one again, or we can move on to another signature or another letter. What are you guys feeling? Guessing people are gonna vote for another letter, but I will ask just in case. So we can see, we can compare. There's mine versus the original. At the end of the day, not, I mean, you can tell what I was trying to do. All right. Oh, Mr. Grimes wants the Bartow. All right. We can do Bartow. I printed this out today too. You can hardly see it, but this is not something I'm going to be writing today. This is a letter written in, probably if I had to pick a favorite looking script. This is unshaded, but when it comes to lowercase letters, it's just phenomenal. So long as it's looking all right. Whereas if the camera's picking up, the hairlines are basically invisible. This is Blozer's writing, and it's just so gorgeous. All right, let's do the Bartow letter for David. Yeah, the original is a bit rounder. You are correct. It is upright, squished, a little more, what's the word? Not as sharp on the baseline. Oh, with black ink. I write quite angular, I think, or sharp, as far as when it comes to overturns and underturns, or turns at the baseline and at the X height. Okay, so I'm not gonna do this part. This part's awesome, but I'm not gonna write that part. So we'll pretend that's not there. We'll start here. Oh, and the first letter is an absolute gorgeous capital D, which I'm gonna practice that on a separate sheet of paper first. Beautiful. Of this entire letter, my probably favorite thing of the whole thing is this stroke that goes from here to there. It's just so fine and beautiful in the way this exits almost straight up vertical instead of going continuing out to the left. Awesome. We have an F floating above the baseline. Bartow. Nope. No, where's Bartow's discipline? Man, we're gonna critique and redline Bartow's work today. We can't do better, but we can still critique. See, Bartow's lowercase letters, this feels more, you can see, much sharper in the underturns. This feels more like how I would naturally write. It is larger than I would than I would normally write. In this printout, in any case, I could write it smaller than this, but it is larger than I would normally write. But it feels like this P, for example, just feels like a P that I would write. That feels like me. His ascenders are cleaner than many of mine are. I wonder if that was intentional, having the D inside the Y, or if it just kind of worked out that way. This one too, notice the R comes around and exits like vertical. Instead of stopping like right here, it continues, it continues as if it's gonna go here, but it lifts going on the vertical instead of on the long axis, which is interesting. Like, this is more standard, where you see it exit sort of along going this way. It doesn't have quite as much straight verticalness. I should note this print is probably missing a fair bit of detail as well, because I don't have a color printer, and I just wanted to print this out in as much contrasted black and white as I could. So this is not the original, but it's printed from the original. Tried to get as many of the hairlines in there as I could, looking nice. Curious, do you think the angle of this oval here, so you can see his slant line, but this oval, which would normally, in a capital F, be along the main slant line, like what the D is. This one is not, it's more angled, the way he did that. But what's cool, the only other time that angle shows up in the writing, this Y is even more horizontal. This W comes right down here and has that low angle like that F. I wonder if that was on purpose. I like to imagine it was. Probably wasn't. But those are the only two ovals that are angled like that. And they're both on the same angle. So if this wasn't there, if this wasn't on this page, this would feel, in my opinion, quite out of place. And vice versa. I got on this thought because this to me feels out of place because it drops so low below the baseline. He's filling a little bit of space over here, but it feels very different than everything else until you look up at the F, and then it makes sense. Potentially not intentional, probably overanalyzing, but still cool things to notice, I think. All right, let's get in. Well, yeah, we can use a lined piece. We're gonna try that capital D a few times, because that's gonna take some work. Oh, let me lock my focus here. We don't have to be quite that close up. And lock. All right. Oh. And it's a huge capital D as well. I like overanalyzing, and then when writing, not over critiquing. Over noticing, over analyzing, over noticing, I guess, but not over critiquing, not over getting angry about things not looking the way you want them. But I do like analyzing and looking and creating potential, I wonder if they were thinking this when they wrote that and such. Kind of makes it fun, I think. Whew. Gotta do this slow once. You're sitting right at my maximum size for forearm movement that I have going on here right now. Oops, shade goes there. Second spiral oval is the one with the shade. Whoops. David, your letter is gonna give me a starting hurdle that I cannot overcome. Passable. This is much more narrow than mine. Try to make it a little smaller. Okay, I keep going around that one. I gotta come into, it's the center one. Let's try a whole arm version. See how that goes. Oh, yikes. Come on, arm. I feel like my arm gets extreme nervous, which is bizarre, because I'm not nervous. It's just like last week when we were doing the Sig Sling and Sunday signatures. Couldn't do it. Not on stream. I just pressed record and wrote it a few times, and it came out quite nice. Stream stress. Okay, I think smaller is the way to go. That's better. Haha, welcome, Fuzzy. How's it going? Okay, now let's drop this shade all the way to there. Get the thickest point in the middle. We can do that. About to nap. Nap sounds wonderful. Comment. We also need to remember to get our little accent shade in that little bit. Oh, Mom to the rescue. Better. I think. Some passable capital D's. I would say keep going on the end of that final swoop. What do you mean keep going? Glad she's feeling better. Or that she's good now, at least. Too low on that one. Okay, a few more swings, and then we'll do the letter. Speed, he did his very fast by the looks of it. Okay, now how big can we get that shade? I've been doing it relatively small, but his is huge. That's better. That's the idea. Too sharp. And then more angled. Whoa. Amateur hour. I could put my bowler hat on. It's never far away. Okay. The problem with this letter is if I mess up it's the first letter. I gotta start a whole new page. If I mess up the D, it's tricky. Getting too much of a shade on that first one. That's good point, Lene. Very true. Where are my hairlines going? Don't disappear on me, hairlines. I need to see you. Double check something real quick. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, one more, then we'll do the letter. Or we'll try. That movement felt really good. My hairlines are almost invisible for part of it, but alright, let's give it a shot. On its own sheet of paper. Okay. That's actually a pretty decent one. Too much space in there, but it's okay. Step in the right direction. Now this, I'm going to pay more attention on this one to when he's shading his lowercase letters, versus, so I don't just do my own habitual shades in them. Oh, why'd I write that so small? Oh, made that a little too big, but that's all right. Hello, hello, Cyril. Welcome, welcome. This paper this week, yes, Fuzzy. I like you ask that question every time. This week is lined, yes. I printed out some lines just before we started today. Oh, I gotta bring this. Oh, I lied. There is another, this angle here. Coming into the Y, I didn't see it because it's so fine. But it is also on that weird angle. So that's three strokes that are on that weird angle-ish in this letter. I didn't realize that. Ooh, there's no place to stop in this Y. Just gotta go for it. Brought it a little too low to the lower baseline. Made it a little too big. I printed 100% gray lines. My printer, it doesn't print gray. I have a laser printer, so it's just a black line however thin I make it. If I make them gray, they just end up turning out ugly. But on the black lines, I usually do full black, either lines or dots. Is sort of what I go between. Your favor. Now, super fast, super light, and finishing going up. Yeah. See, I'd still finish sort of here instead of getting that curve up, but I still, very nice exit oval. Very happy with that. My line spacing, once again, is not quite wide enough for this letter the way he wrote it, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna hit an issue when I get to the bottom of that Y, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there, I guess. Oh, shoot, that's supposed to be an exit oval. Not paying attention. I'll have to write this one again as well. At some point. This one feels more fun to write because the lowercase literally feel much more like my own. Oh, too tall. It's interesting that he doesn't use ending Ds. Normally that D would go inside that Y. Spacing it a little bit different so I can avoid that issue. Hello, Lori. M. Slight shade on both the A and the M. I hope I'm not writing like too low on the screen. I write my lowercase letters closer to my body than when I do capitals. Ah, went straight too long before curving. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Yeah, the hairlines disappear when I touch the lines, which is the unfortunate part of a laserjet printer. Look at that. Ooh, too sharp. See, a good contrast. Remember what I was saying about Lyman's letter with the crossing of the T's? How it goes like, it increasingly goes like from low to flat and high, whereas like more what I would consider more standard in like OP would be like Bartos, where it's overturn down and then underturn. So it's more so the whole thing is going, it's a compound curve going horizontal versus climbing. The more old school penmen did the climbing, which is neat. I never realized, I know my writing isn't exactly like his, obviously, but I never realized, well, especially this letter, his lowercase letters legitimately feel very comfortable to me. They feel very like his spacing, aside from the fact that they're bigger, they feel very comfortable. Some of them feel like my letters. Oh, see now. That's what you should do for your next pajama party. Fozzie, we're gonna have a lowercase pajama party. specimen of my ornamental. Have a good nap, Fuzzy. Where does he shade? A. Oh, just the A. Okay. Oops, not enough space there. We're writing correspondence letters today, Lori. Sorry, a whole bunch of stuff just happened in the chat, and I've been focusing on writing this, so I've missed a lot of chat things. I apologize. Oh, that's a shame. Not a pretty oval there. He makes his P's so shaded on the bottom. Mine are not nearly shaded enough. Ugh. Two ugly ovals. What's happening? Gotta relax. That is one thing you will notice if you're writing longer form writing. As you go, you start to get more tense. You'll start making more mistakes. The beginning of a letter will usually come out nicer than the end of a letter because we stress ourselves out, unfortunately. Gotta remember to breathe. Push my desk a little bit this way so I'm not quite... There we go. Not so close to the bottom of the frame. Okay, little on the M, and that's it. I've done that multiple times today, doing my shades too far to the left on my lowercase d's. Multiple times today I've done that. Capitals in the middle of letters, on the middle of the page. Always a bit stressful. Oh, that's an interesting P. I've never done a P like that. Curious. He had a little bit of a shade on there, but I did not add a shade. I got too nervous. Thank you very much, Cyril. Oh, now we get this. The droopy entrance to the W. Not the best shade in the world, but it'll work. His S's are definitely more round than I do my own. With his compound curves coming in. Oh, he doesn't have the cleanest eye. Can I best him on the eye? Probably not. My eyes haven't been very great today. Oh, terrible. But oh well. Could be worse. Oh, that eye's pretty poor though. Coming along. Okay. Big ol' entry oval. We got a little straight through there, unfortunately. But he does a little bit as well. Not as much as I did, though, unfortunately. Ruined it right there. And then his last oval. Oh, that signature's pretty poor, but there's that one. Something to work towards. All right, Marilyn. Bedtime for you. Have a wonderful evening. We will see you next time. Sleep well. I'm supposed... True. I did really good on the first letter. I messed up the ending. It's a relatively simple signature that I shouldn't mess up that bad, but let me try it again. What is my hair wheel hooked on here? Could be worse, though. Go there's mine, quite tight spaced. And there's Barto's. More vertical space would have fared well for this one, I think. But as a whole, not too shabby. Let's try this signature again, shall we? The E not ending below the baseline trips me up majorly. It shouldn't, but it does. Better. Not perfect, but better. Better. That was a fun one. Letter writing is fascinating. I never write Dear anybody. I start with the person's name. Like if I was writing Cyril, let's say, instead of Dear Cyril or Friend Cyril, I would just say Cyril. Blah, 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 blah. Not proper by any stretch of the imagination, but that's how I tend to start letters most of the time. Just because I get stressed out that I have to start with a capital D, so I stopped writing Dear before letters. Oh, let me zoom back in here. What could be an alternate form for dear? Well, a lot of in old school, friend was something that was used a ton. If I didn't want to write dear, but I wanted something other than just the name, I would write friend. Is I think how I would start a letter. Friend Ward. I wouldn't write a letter to myself, so that doesn't make any sense. Something to that effect. I actually just listened to that portion of that audiobook not long ago. I started going through The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and all of that jazz relatively recently. I think I'm almost done Two Towers now. So that one was a little while ago, but because my goal, I mean, I've listened to the audiobooks many, many times of all of those stories, but did The Hobbit, then we do Lord of the Rings, and then we will do, haven't decided if I'm going to go into the Silmarillion or if I'm going to go into, what is it, the Children of Húrin, and then we'll go through, I don't know if the camera can see them up there. Those are all Tolkien books up there, except for the two Astro Boy VHSs on the end, but those are all Tolkien world that I want to read through those, but it all starts with Hobbit, then Lord of the Rings, and then we'll do probably the Silmarillion, and then we'll get into, like, Unfinished Tales and History of Middle-earth and all that stuff. Children of Húrin, Fall of Gondolin, Fall of Númenor. There's a bunch of them. Alright. I think I want to do that one again, but I want to get my... what's the word? I want to get better spaced paper to do that one again, or to write it a lot smaller, but I'll probably just get better spaced paper. What else do I want to do here? I really like this one, but it's hard to see. This was to J.G. Christ by C.P. Zahner, and it is gorgeous. See, this one's interesting. This one sort of breaks convention in how a letter is started. It starts with the name, like standard, but not dear or anything. It's J.G. Christ, their location, and then friend. Your very complimentary communication requesting a specimen of my penmanship, ornamental style, was received, and I hereby cheerfully comply to the best of my present ability. I don't think I'm gonna do this one, but I really like this letter. It is a gorgeous letter. And it's also one of the examples of CP Zahner's signature. Because most of the ones in the books show this hairline and this hairline meeting up exactly perfect. So you can't tell where he wrote. It's flawless. Whereas this one, well, his compound curve here, they don't match up. He has one line here, and then these three lines don't match up exactly correctly. So it shows you, or it's telling him how he wrote his signature. There are many examples of when his signature isn't perfect there, but the ones that are published are all perfect. So you finish thinking that he either started here and then went up through there, or that he went from the C into that one, and then picked this one up. It's hard to tell. Unless he does it like this. Then you can, that's how we learn. Or how we guess. We still don't actually know, but pretty accurate guessing going on. Here, we'll do this one. This is the... Unfortunately, I've never seen, and I don't know if on the internet there exists a scan of this letter. This is another pretty poor looking one. It's the Galveston letter. To E.W. Bloser by A.D. Taylor. It is beautiful. Lowercase letters, lots of shades, lots and lots of shades. Very short X height, but quite high ascender, and tight spaced. Not a lot of free flow movement after the lowercase letter, which would be very tough for me. Contrasted by his capitals, which could not possibly be more free. I'm assuming, I have a feeling these have to be written with whole arm movement. I'm guessing. Taylor's capitals are just so flowy and gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. I could just sit and stare at this letter for a long time. Forget writing it. I'm just going to sit and stare at it. No, I'll try to write it. I've never tried to write this one before, which is weird, because it's a beautiful one. And you can see how widely spaced. I guess I'm going to double space mine to do that, I suppose. Well, double space is a little bit wider than what he has here, but it's my only choice. I can't do that even spaced or they'll never fit. We'll see how it goes. Ooh, we're gonna have to practice this. Capital, I think. Or this signature at the beginning. E.W. Bloser. I'm actually quite surprised. I've never tried to do this way before. Large upper bowl and small lower bowl on the B. No big shade on the B, which is interesting. Just the stem. And very tightly spaced, which is going to be a challenge. Oops. many pieces of paper floating around. Oh, he goes way up high. Oh, we haven't done ads today. I forgot. I'm doing an ad right now. It probably won't work though. Did an ad happen? I'm not getting paid today. I mean, honestly, even when ads are going as much as they were last week, that doesn't, it's not like it's not pay, really. It ends up being like $1. Maybe, if that. It doesn't translate to anything. And I don't mean $1 an ad. I mean like $1 a week. It's nothing. Makes me nothing. Oh, we gotta bring that farther out to the left. Yeah. I need to set my... Oh, well, it's too late. We haven't done ads today, really. So today will be a no ad day. I think I might take it back to either automatic like it was last week, or I can set intervals so I can make it do it every 10 or 15 or whatever minutes. Not every 10. I don't know yet. I gotta think about it. But there needs to be ads. Or I want there to be ads at some point. Just a matter of how we're gonna do it. Yeah, I had a self timer on my phone. I just didn't turn it on. Well, yeah, that was sort of the plan. I thought it would, like yesterday, it would give me, when an ad was playing, there was like a yellow bar that was slowly disappearing as the ad was finishing. So I assumed today I would click the insert ad button and it would show me the ad playing, and it would show me the countdown till when the ad is finished, so I would know when the ad was finished. But that's not what it did. So it's not acting like I assumed it would. So I have no way of telling if an ad even played. It just says ads inserted, and that's it. Which is unfortunate. I wish it was more like it was last week, when it played an ad and it told me when there was an ad and how long it was going for. I don't know. I'll mess around with it, I guess. Maybe there's a way to enable that. Alright, let's try this letter, shall we? Running out of table space for wet ink paper. I'll have to rely on you. Wow, we've been going for 2 hours and nobody said anything till right now. That's not very reliable, Lene. Okay, so this letter starts with the word Galveston up at the top. I didn't do any of the accent shades I was intending to do. This is borderline like a shaded Spencerian up here. Galveston. He did his much larger than I did. I feel like this is like borderlining grosser script in here. Sort of. Not fully in grosser script. But kind of. Oh, I got the date wrong. That's okay. I feel like I'm running out of energy. I'm getting goofy. Too much lowercase letters. Alright. E.W. Blosser. Nice and big. I'm out of tea. Oh, I'm not out of tea. Thought I was out of tea. Now I'm out of tea. Ugly shade. I don't know the secret to making lowercase letters like this look good. See, this is like almost every letter has a shade in it. which feels very strange to write. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Feels very strange. It's also a possibility it could be the way that I have made this black and white, and just the way the what's the word I'm looking for? The way it added the contrast has made it look like there's shades on everyone, but I feel like there's basically shades on every lowercase letter. My attention span is running out. That's better. Night, David. Lurk mode. It really has to be super condensed to get everything to fit. I made specimen a little bit too wide. I'm too quiet, I guess, just because I'm not talking enough. I'm writing, I guess, a fair bit, and I'm not, I guess I chat when I'm doing ornamental penmanship more. I'm not concentrating quite as much. I'm not doing it nearly condensed enough. Whoops, and this was supposed to go like that. Oh yeah, I took up way too much space on that line. I'm a whole word short of space. Whoops. When I'm focused, it's just hard to engage in conversation when I'm also writing other words. I'll start writing what I'm saying, and then that's no good, which is normally what we do when I'm just playtiming. I just write what people chat about or what pops into my head, but I can't really do that when I'm doing letter writing. So I have to condense it even more. Writing so far down. Sorry. This is true. If I didn't want to entertain, I could just do a writing session at home without a camera turned on. That is a very good point. Oops. Oh, he went way down low on that. This is not the best one of the evening. We'll say that for certain. I'm gonna have to analyze this letter a little bit more and try it again. The borderline feels like very, very tiny ornamental penmanship engrossers. It's impossible to, well, not impossible, but it's tough to write good, at least for me, lowercase letters. I can usually do flourishes and capitals and stuff decent. Not my best work for sure. If I'm chatting with somebody. Oops, that was the wrong version of the R. Oh, I hiccuped during that. Whoops, wrong exit flourish again. There you go. Yeah, well, I'll be really quiet. That's what one day we're gonna do a silent stream where I don't talk at all, and my only communication will be what I write. That's how I will respond and communicate with the entire stream. Will that be good or bad, I wonder? I'm curious. I feel like some people would really think it's funny. Some people would probably really hate it. Maybe. I'm curious. I'm gonna wear that extra. He has an oval here that's not connected to anything. An hour long? We could do an hour. Silent hour. After midnight, things go blacklight hour. But then before midnight, we have silent hour. I can't even see. His signature is basically invisible on this page. Boy. Oh, my other phone. I didn't realize I was doing all that out of frame. Sorry. Wasn't that stellar anyway, so you didn't miss out on anything great. I'm certain I've never tried to do this letter before, because this is a weird letter. Or just the style of lowercase is very strange to me. But there it is. There's my swing at it. No, that's the whole page. I gotta zoom way out. Right, if I do the silent stream, I have to really make sure that all my tech is working perfectly. But you guys can text me and tell me. Oh, I guess I can still make sounds. I can like clap my hands or something. That's how we'll know if my microphone is working or not. That has definitely happened before. I think only once or twice. For sure. I remember the one time that it happened. That it was a major one. Strange lowercase. So strange. Because he like... Well, you can't see it great in this copy of the letter. But like... There are so many moments where... like here, for example. All these lower cases with where each one feels, as far as this printout, they're so condensed and they have their tiny little shades. So they're between the letters is not like flowy. Each one just like really quickly goes into the next letter. Sort of like a, not in grocer script forms, but as far as like what's spacing between the letters is so tight. But then like all the flourishes, like the ascenders, or sorry, yeah, the descenders, and then the exit and entry flourishes are so, well, almost like, again, tight. Like the exits don't go way out here, they go almost like straight up. But then the flourishes are all so free and flourishy. It's such a contrast. I mean, I'm assuming that's what makes it so beautiful, is the lowercase letters themselves don't feel very free. They're like tight, 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 free, free, tight, tight, free, free, tight, 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 free. It's like it's the complete contrast of tight versus free, I guess. Yeah, super tight lowercase, super... And it's not like super flourishy in that it's got like lots of loops and whatnot. It's not a super over flourishy letter. It's just that the flourishes are so loose and free. Like it's capital letters. Like the way he does this type of flourishing, he's one of the only ones whose writing looks like that. When he does like signature flourishing and stuff like that, it's so open and free. Very challenging. If there was one thing on this, because I haven't written this letter before, but I've seen this version of this signature, this copy of this signature many, many times. And the only thing I don't like, if I was going to critique it, is this oval on the B. Is you can see how it goes. So it's like a not, like you want the oval to end sort of like this. This is a nice clean oval. Actually, the G is a better example. That's like the perfect shape on the left-hand side of the oval right there. Whereas this B does not look like that. It would need... Where's my pencil? Let me draw it in. It would be like this. Like so. Then it would be the right shape of the B. That's how I feel anyways. Should I be criticizing Taylor's work? No. But I'm gonna anyway, so whatever. I did it. He's trying to dip out before the party. Are you talking about me dipping out before midnight? I don't know that I'm dipping out, but as I mentioned when I was doing this letter, my brain is clocking out a little bit. On a long day today, and my hand and brain are frazzled feeling. So that is gonna be it for today. That's gonna be the whole stream. Let me double check my calendar real quick. I want to double check if we have a stream next week or not. I might be out of town. Yeah, no stream next week because I will be out of town, but then we'll have a stream the week after that. I am away teaching next week, but then I'll be back. It's true, you haven't said that in a while. There we go. I had to leave early just so just Swinny could have her catchphrase in the stream. But we're gonna call that an evening, a night. Thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out with me today. I hope you had fun. Write some letters. I'm getting into this to sort of convince myself to start. I want to try to write like a letter a day, not specifically one per day, but I want to get in the habit of, before I go to bed, sit down, write a letter to a friend, send it off the next day, or put them in a pile and mail them off all together. But I have a lot of correspondence I need to catch up on, so this is sort of my diving into, here we go. Let's write letters. Don't forget, everybody, that life should be just a bit of silly. Oh, I got that backwards. Make sure that you are falling in love with the process. See, I'm falling apart here. Make sure that you're falling in love with the process. And don't forget, everybody, that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. Good night and stream.